Portland buys Moda Center for $1 from the Portland Trailblazers.
I want my $2. I could buy 2
with the
Modas.
understanding of a commitment on any taxes for ticket sales, parking, all that stuff. They go 50 cents on every dollar goes to renovating Moda Center and the surrounding area of the Rose Quarter. And also, we didn't talk about this, but Hyken does a good job of outlining this in the Rose Garden report. There's also a little nugget in there about protecting the city moving forward, to where if the Blazers ever move out of Moda Center,
they got to pay.
If they sell the team to somebody else who moves the team, it is written in the contract they have to pay the city back 100% of any dime that is going towards any renovations or any money put in. They have to pay for that building. If you want to buy the team and say, hey, we don't have to buy the building too, we're just going to buy the team and move it.
Nope.
You have any money that is put in has to be repaid
at 100%.
At 100%. Every single cent.
So think about this, what they want to do here, and where we're kind of going with this. The big implication here is beyond the Moda Center, and this is something I've talked to Dwayne Hankins about this. This is something that he is, since he took this job, has been championing, is they have got to do something with the area around Moda. There's nothing there. The only time there was is when we were younger, back in the day, you could do Kachina.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go see a fight live before the game, you could go down and go to Kachina
That's right.
and watch probably 15 people get in a fight, just hammered drunk, before the game, and then go watch the Blazers basketball, which decent people watching. I'm not going to lie. But there's nothing to do around that area. Everything is closed. They've got the grain silos on the waterfront. The Portland Public Schools building is vacated. There's just nothing down there. There's no food. There's no entertainment. There's nothing. Just the max line on both sides. Here comes the Albina Vision Trust, which is investing in over $1 billion in the region and is working with the Trailblazers directly because they want to reinvest in that neighborhood because it is decrepit and there's nothing there, and you've just seen flight, business and personal, and they've got to do something there. And this is where the taxes and the money going back into the community, as far as the development there, matters, because it's going to be a significant investment, because they're going to tear that place up and they're going to make it an entertainment district. Hyken highlights it here where they talk about how this is going to be like Jurassic Park or the Deer District for the Raptors and the Bucks. And if you haven't seen those, Google them and go watch a quick video of what those teams look like in the playoffs.
Or go to any NBA arena. Dallas has a really good one out next to their arena as well, where the ESPN radio studios are. They're in like that little entertainment district, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's where communities come together, man, and it's awesome. And that's in like the big playoff atmospheres. But just on the day-to-day, like going to games or going to concerts or going to shows or whatever it is, like there's just nothing to do. And so they need to fix that, and they need to invest in that neighborhood. And this is where the part of this is key. As of last week, the Albina Vision Trust secured the Portland Public Schools building that has been at the center of all of this for 15 years.
It's been a big hurdle because it's a big chunk of land, and like there was a time where Paul Allen was trying to swoop up all those properties around there.
Everything around.
And there were two major hurdles. One, the PPS building. Two, the grain elevators right there next to the steel bridge. That one's not going away.
He's not relenting.
Well, apparently it's a ridiculous amount of goods that travel up and down the river that stop right there. Good cash cow for them. Good cash cow for them. And at any time they say we want to sell it, they can sell it for a pretty penny. Like that. You know, but
it's waterfront property next to the arena. It's not decreasing in value anytime soon.
Right now, they're sitting pretty on that piece of land. But this is good news for everybody that has always said, hey, we need something down there. Not just near Moda Center, but something on the east side that people will flock to.
Yes.
You know, go across the river and keep people on the other side of the river. I mean, that's a huge one. And so I think that everything that is kind of laid out in this plan, on the surface, it probably worried some folks because you go, selling the arena for $1, so they're not connected to that. They can just try to get. No, there's a lot that is woven into this 5-year deal or extension.
The Blazers there.
That is saying it's going to make it exponentially harder for any other person to try and get this team out of Portland, which I think is great. And then also, it's helping add to the community that surrounds Moda Center, which is in dire need of upgrades.
And so this is, again, weaving this all together. For all the people who Jody Allen needs to sell to Phil Knight. Number one, look, I would like to see the ownership stuff resolved, regardless
I would not be
of
against that.
The flip side of this is Phil Knight's, what, 90?
Yeah.
So we're
88.
We're going through this again very soon.
Yeah. But it was, what was it, Phil Knight and that Dodgers bro?
Yes.
He's 85.
So 85.
Phil's 85.
So
turning 86 in a couple days.
Okay, so
tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Tomorrow.
Perfect timing.
Happy birthday, Uncle Phil.
Smoleninsky is the guy who did
the
Dodgers bro who redid the land around USC, which is what they're trying to do here at Moda. But they have the $400 million. Phil Knight has a $400 million investment in what they have called their 1803 project. The manager of said project is also on the board for the Albina Vision Trust.
Nope.
The Albina Vision Trust is working directly hand in hand with the Trailblazers. Does this mean that they're selling to Phil Knight? No.
Yes.
Oh.
Damn.
But does it mean that they are working hand in hand on the same vision of heading towards something along those lines? Maybe.
Well, they're actually playing nice for
Nice-ish, at least
for the first time.
On this part. And this is the thing, like, for everybody who wants this to happen, Phil Knight pissed off the Jody Allen estate. They ran a hit piece in the New York Post and then had a senator do the same thing.
There was a little bit of bad blood before that, too.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what exacerbated this. Now, if Phil Knight wants to say, here's a $4 billion check, cut it and get out, cool. That probably gets done. But for all of the Jody needs to sell, Phil needs to pay.
And it still feels everybody circled 2024, 2025 for when it was
this summer.
2 parts. The untangling of Paul Allen's estate.
Which this is part of. Getting the lease deal done is part of that.
The other part was strike while the iron's hot when the NBA gets a new television contract and the valuations go up even more.
Supposed to hear about that this summer.
Okay.
Now, even though the deal won't take place until next year, after next year, this is typically when you hear about deals getting done.
Boy, that feels like a perfect time for Jody Vulcans to take a step back from the franchise and say, new ownership, we've untangled the S-Storm financially.
We've secured the building and the team here.
Well, with what Neil O'Shea did to the contracts and the operations moving forward. Books would be clean. There's going to be young talent on the roster. An influx of money is going to be coming through the new TV deal for a new owner to pay a competent and competitive roster, and everything is lined up.
There's a G League team in place
side.
now. They're putting investment in the area around. It's like almost like for all of the people that want her gone. And again, this is not me defending and saying she's the best owner ever, but if you look around, they've done everything that needed to be done when Paul was still alive.
And you don't have to like her for the dino bones or the making her bodyguards wear Speedos or whatever that was. But here's the deal, is that she is fulfilling the wishes of her late brother, which he never wanted this team to ever leave Portland.
No.
And we're seeing that kind of come to fruition. And we knew that they were going to put a bow on this thing eventually. And these are steps that could lead to that. Hell, she could sit there and say, nah, I still want to keep the team. It's going to piss off a lot of people.
Also, she would have to buy the team.
But there are there's so many other organizations, not just in the NBA, but across professional sports that you can point at and say they are more poorly mismanaged than the Portland Trailblazers.
And the thing is, I don't think from an ownership standpoint that what they have done is mismanaging.
And they're doing a lot that is no from ownership. No. From their former front office. Yeah. Does this rebuild actually succeed, and does the vision of Joe Cronin come to fruition? To TBD.
Yeah.
And you can have your gripes with that, but there was a mess that Neil O'Shea left, and it's still being, untangled.
They made a decision on a path. Whether or not that path turns out,
And that's basketball operations,
Yes.
right? From the ownership side, they're spending money on a G League team.
They're spending money on a roster.
They're taking the steps to improve the fan experience at Moda Center and the area around it by giving it to the city, which that's my biggest concern is we've seen the city of Portland screw stuff up at every turn.
Yes.
And now it's like, but Jody Allen can now say, this one wasn't on me. You can go and you can blame your city council and your mayor moving forward. But all signs point to this being a positive progress moving forward for the Blazers.
Yes. Overall, new renovations at Moda and around Moda, investment in the area, locking the team in, hopefully long-term going forward, and just a much more solid base for the organization.